And this is like something straight out of Alfred Hitchcock. All these birds. Oh man.
Sorry, pigeons.
Look at all these birds right here. You know I don't like birds, so Jessica, go ahead, Jessica. Do what you're gonna do. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh man. Here's a fun little piece of trivia about me. I remember being in maybe 3rd or 4th grade and taking the Michael Jackson Thriller album to show and tell and playing it on my record player in front of my classmates. That's how spooky I am. Grade school show and tell Michael Jackson's Thriller. 1983, this is where it all began. Michael Jackson's Thriller here at the Palace Theatre in downtown Los Angeles. The 1983 music video, Michael Jackson's Thriller, directed by John Landis, started right here in this movie theater. Michael Jackson and Enola Gay were inside there watching the horror movie where it all began. Now here's the thing about this place, a little bit of movie magic. Only the exteriors were filmed right here at the Palace Theatre. Let's try to match up some of the shots. The video starts out with a sweeping shot of the Palace Theatre marquee all lit up. It says Vincent Price's Thriller, and it comes down to right about there, a closer shot of Michael Jackson and Enola Gay walking out of the theater.
It's only a movie.
Sadly, the theater is closed down and you can't get inside, but a lot of the theater remains the same, including the walkway here, which can be seen in the video, as well as the lighting up here. It's all turned off and it's all closed down and looking decrepit now, but Michael Jackson and Enola Gay come right out of those doors right there. You can kind of see it through. The ticket booth isn't there anymore, but they come out and they stand right about here in the center and they talk about how scary the movie was.
You were scared, weren't you?
I wasn't that scared.
And then they walk off down that way into the next scene.
You were scared.
I don't know if this is the original Orpheum Theater that I've heard about, or if that's from a theater that's in New York, but if you look inside the grate here, it's like going back in time. It's stunning and very well preserved, and I would die to get inside.
Looking through the fence here, you can see how beautiful this place was. And at the time when they were filming here, on the sides of the walkway, there were all these different movie posters, and believe it or not, the movie poster was for Vincent Price's House of Wax. And this wasn't even used in the actual music video, but take a look at that chandelier and that ceiling. How beautiful is this? It's so sad that it's all boarded up. After the movie, Michael Jackson and Enola Gay are walking down this street and he's trying to scare her even more than she already is, and he's singing Thriller to her. And as Michael and Enola Gay are walking down that street right by that wall to this intersection, you start hearing the voice of Vincent Price narrating, and the zombies start to arise.
Darkness falls. Must stand and face the hounds of hell. The foulest stenches in the air. The funk of 40,000 years.
One of the most iconic shots of the zombies happens right there, coming out of that manhole with that building in the background.
So one of the most iconic pictures used for promotion was taken right here at this wall with Michael Jackson standing here and all the zombies around him. And as much as we would love to play Michael Jackson's Thriller for you, copyrights, we can't. But it goes a little something like dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. I ran out of breath. Was that okay?
At this point, the zombies start surrounding them, and Enola Gay turns around and she sees Michael has now turned into a zombie. And it's at this point you probably think I'm going to do the Thriller dance. I assure you, I'm not. A lot has changed, but a lot remains the same. This is almost as close as we're going to get to the exact spot where Michael Jackson and the zombies were dancing. In the music video, this light post still remains here, but most importantly, something that really sticks out is this part of the wall that looks like a picture frame and actually had a picture in it. I mean, I know a lot has changed since the 80s whenever John Landis was here filming with Michael Jackson, but you can see why they would film here. This place is really cool to look at. I never in a million years thought that I would actually be here. There's a scene in Tim Burton's movie Ed Wood where Ed Wood and the crew are filming something and then the cops come and then they grab everything and they take off running. I kind of feel like that. There's so much traffic here. We're here filming scenes in the middle of the street and then a car would come, so we go, all right, let's go. And then as soon as the street's clear, all right, let's go back in. We're kind of like Ed Wood, just roaming around filming in Los Angeles, Hollywood, making our own little movies. And that brings us to this house right here, the Michael Jackson Thriller house. In the music video, you can see Enola Gay running away from the zombies across the street, just like Jessica, and up the stairs to the house. And as she runs up those steps, the zombies, including Michael Jackson, run up behind her. Oh man, that's so cool. I never thought in a million years that I'd be standing right here looking at this place. Do you know what, Jessica? For some reason, I always thought that before I would get out here to see this house, it would probably either be burned down or demolished in some way. So, and you're still doing the Thriller dance.
Because you can't help but have it going off in your head while you're in the presence of the actual places they use the film.
Right?
Awesome.
So cool.
So cool.
I love you. What's awesome is the house is private property and somebody does live there, so we're not going to go up on the steps. But they have to be fans of Michael Jackson and Thriller because the house looks just like it did, well, almost like it did at the time of filming. Oh yeah, and as a little bit of a bonus, the Thriller house, which is right there at about the center of your screen, is almost right next door to the house used in the TV show Charmed. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a crow in the background. Visiting the Thriller locations, honestly, was like a highlight of this trip for me. When we started planning our California trip, we had to stop and do this house. And then we built the entire video around it. So, yeah, it's like a childhood dream come true. This is actually kind of sad. This is the historic Rialto Theatre in Pasadena. The interior scenes of Michael Jackson's Thriller, where they were watching the movie, took place inside of this theater. Also, side note, Scream 2 was also filmed here. What's even worse though, a church has bought this building and it is no longer going to be a movie theater. Instead, it's going to be a house of the Lord. Weird, right? And Jessica just pointed out that the Rialto is actually part of the historic Route 66. It was right there in the center of that sign where there was a giant knife for the movie Stab that was over top of everybody standing in line. In the movie, Jada Pinkett Smith and Omar Epps are in a line that comes right down that sidewalk, and they're standing right about here talking about how she wants to go see the Sandra Bullock movie, but no, he wants to see Stab. And they come right up to this ticket booth and go right through those doors to meet their end, their demise.
Sandra Bullock is playing right down the street.
Nobody want to pay $7.50 to see some Sandra Bullock shit. That she naked.
Oh, but you will sit through a movie called Stab.
There's so much renovation and things changing. These poster windows here had pictures of the movie Stab that they were going to go see, but now, like we said earlier, it's all being bought and renovated into a church. Peering into the lobby, everything looks just about the same, including those doors into the theater.
I was so scared I was on a heart attack.
Stab you, man! Get yourself.
This theater's been here for a very long time. Here in front of it, there is a centennial celebration, 1888 to 1988. Opening night at the Rialto. How cool is that? Would have loved to have gotten inside and seen the stage where Jada Pinkett Smith dies in the movie Scream 2, but more importantly, to sit in the actual theater seats that Michael Jackson sat in when he watched Thriller unfold.
Can we get out of here? No, I'm enjoying this.
Wherever I come, bad luck is coming my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. A bad luck's always coming my way.